Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm actually coming back at you for another new album for tomorrow's release for the Friday albums that are coming out tomorrow. And this is for the new record by Ghost, which is called Prequelle. So I'm going to go through track by track and let you know my thoughts on this. The first track is called Ashes. Now, this was only like a minute and 21 seconds, so it was kind of leading into the Rats song or whatever. And they're just little children chanting in the background. Ring around the roses, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes. We all fall down mostly. And then they said something ashes, ashes, and then something with ashes as well. And then you hear a drum solo, and then I'm like, okay. I was surprised by that. I was like, that surprised me. I didn't see that coming. I was like, okay. I thought it was gonna be just a mellow track all the way to Rats, but nope. Brought in a drum solo. So it's getting a 5 out of 5. I liked Ashes. This intro to the album's great. Track number 2, Rats. We got this single back in April, and this song I felt was lacking in a few areas with the melody, with the pacing of the song. It wasn't bad. It's still a great song. It's just I felt that it had a little bit of a it didn't match very well with his voice going into the melody or whatever. That's my opinion, but you don't have to agree with me on that. But it's still a really good song, but I'd have to give it a 4.5 out of 5. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on that. You can just say, oh, this is an amazing song. And I'll be like, yeah, that's their choice. So, moving on. Track number 3, Faith. Great way to start the song with the guitar coming in to open the song. And the drums kicking back as well. Just going at a good pace, following the guitar's lead as well. And it's really good. And this song was an enjoyment. And the chorus where he's like, something, something, faith, and all that. He just says it with like a slither, faith, and all that. And I'm like, ooh, that's really good. It's just the way he said faith. I'm like, ah, this is my favorite song. So I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. It was a real enjoyment, and I enjoyed the fuck out of this song. Track number 4, See the Light. Great opening for the song. But there are a few gaps in the chorus that make it seem a little okay, and in my opinion it kind of makes me cringe and feel a little uneasy with how it was produced, but overall it's still a really good song. But I'd have to give this a 4.5 out of 5. But See the Light is a really good song. If you're a Ghost fan, you're gonna like this album, because this is one of their best records, which I'm not lying about that. But I'll explain that at the end of the video. So, moving on. Track number 5, Miasma. This is a instrumental. I thought he was gonna sing in this song, and they were gonna do a full guitar solo for maybe a minute or two. I didn't think it was a fucking instrumental at first. I'm like, oh. I was just shocked that there was no singing. I'm like, okay, we get an instrumental from this, alright. But I know it's on Wikipedia and it said that it was going to be an instrumental, but I kind of forgot that it was. And my head's been in a different place today mostly, so I'm like, oh yeah, it was going to be an instrumental. Because I was hoping for someone to sing, but I didn't hear that, and then I saw that it was an instrumental when I looked it up on the Wikipedia page for this album. And I saw it said track number 5, instrumental for Miasma, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. But overall, it's a great instrumental, and I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. Track number 6, Danse Macabre. We got this back in late May, like a few weeks before the record drop. This one I love. Wanna be in the moonlight. It's very catchy and has that good anthem and 80s kind of feel. Rock and all that. Like, you can tell the sound and all that in the background. The great melody going, and the keeping up with the pace of the song is just amazing. And the atmosphere behind this track is amazing, with its background and how it's approaching the viewer and all that, and how it's well constructed and it executed very well. And I think this song deserves a 5 out of 5. It gets a lot of praise. I enjoyed it. It's something I can definitely come back to. Track number 7, Memoria. Now, what was so funny is I actually heard this in one of the ghost videos or whatever that they were doing certain videos for, about the cardinal and all that, and you hear in those videos, don't you forget about dying. Don't you forget about your friend death. I'm like, okay, little atheist much? I know they're probably an atheist band, and I don't really care if they are, but it's a good song. But there are a few gaps in between the song that make it seem a little uneasy, in my opinion, but overall, I enjoyed the song, and it's getting a 4.5 out of 5. Track number 8, Witch Image. Yeah, musically, it's kind of generic, and when I was hearing the chorus, I'm not sure. I'm not going to judge 100%, because I just listened to it, and I don't want to really judge too much into it, but I think it's not a bad song. It's just, it felt repetitive with the chorus, and very generic, but overall, it's a solid track, and I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Track number 9, Helvets Fonster, I think it's called. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but you might know what I'm talking about. It's an instrumental. Motherfucker is almost 6 minutes long. Damn. But it's a great instrumental. I enjoyed the fuck out of it, and it's getting a 5 out of 5. Track number 10 for the regular edition to close the record. It's called Life Eternal. This closing track for the regular edition is great. I love this song. It's a good track to close it. It's got an easy, slow rock, mellow pace kind of feel for a song, but it delivers fantastically, and it deserves a 5 out of 5. Track number 11, the deluxe edition bonus tracks I'm doing. It's a Sin. Now, this was a cover for... I didn't really read too much into this on the Wikipedia page, but it's a cover for a different band. This was not bad. There are certain gaps in this song that I have my cringe moments in it, but not to the point where it's terrible. I enjoyed this track, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. The final track, Avalanche, another cover. The start of it was not bad, but I felt it was just a little stale with its approach, and Tobias's singing when he brings his voice out in the song just to start the lyrics off. It's not in good taste, but musically it's great. And the song's decent, but I'd give this maybe a 4 out of 5. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on it. You may like this song, so who knows. But the majority of you that are looking for this record, you'll probably find it tonight or at least in the morning. Probably around midnight or at least in Friday morning, somewhere around 9 or 10. I think this album is amazing. This is an outstanding record. There are a few gaps in some songs, like I wouldn't say Rats has that gap. It just has that uneasy, weird feeling for me, and I found it a little lacking in that area for the song, with it presenting itself with his voice coming into the chorus or throughout the chorus. It just didn't present itself well with me. So that's why I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. But that's just my take and my opinion on it. You don't have to agree with me on that. That's just how I felt about the song. But the ones that did have the gaps in it were See the Light, I would say Pro Memoria, Which Image. Sorry, I had to write this stuff down, the track listing, that way I didn't forget, and so I could put it on this video. It's a Sin. Avalanche has the most of it, but it also has a lot of cringe moments when you hear his voice coming into the song, and you're like, you get this uneasy feeling like, what are you? You're just like, what's going on? And like, this is just a decent track, but not something I can really see myself really liking. But I think this record did very well, and this is definitely the recommended album for June 1st, 2018, because I know the fucking Kanye West album's gonna suck dick tomorrow. But I'm not talking about that in this video. But out of 10, I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. That's just my rating. You may have a different rating, and you may be like, oh, it deserves a 9, oh, it deserves a 9.5. The reason why I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 is because the majority of this record, with those certain songs I mentioned, they do have gaps in it with the chorus, when the chorus comes in. And the majority of those gaps are mainly in the Avalanche song. And that one was an uneasy, weird song to me, but it was still decent. But comment below, let me know your thoughts on this record. I am still giving this record an 8.5 out of 10, but it's a great album. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Take care.